Mafia boss never touched a woman. Until a curvy nanny fell on his bed, what could make a man who avoided every woman break his one unshakable rule? Hello, everyone. Comment which city or country you are watching from and what time it is there. Let us begin. Do not pull her out. Claire Bennett's command cut through the dark cabin 1 second before 6 armed men reached beneath Adrian Cole's bed. The night glass rolled hard beneath them, throwing crystal from the shelves and slamming the steel door against its frame. Claire, a curvy nanny in a soaked navy dress, had already fallen across the forbidden bed, one knee buried in the mattress and one hand braced against Adrian's chest. His arm was locked around her waist, keeping her from striking the carved wooden headboard. Adrian Cole had never touched a woman. His bodyguards knew it. His enemies whispered about it. Even the women invited to his private clubs understood that the ruthless shipping kingpin allowed no hand on his skin and no perfume inside his rooms. Yet now he held Claire steady while his 9-year-old niece trembled beneath the bed. Another violent tilt sent the yacht groaning through the storm. Claire tightened her grip on Adrian's shirt, then looked directly into the cold gray eyes that had made senators lower their voices. Do not release me until I have my balance. No apology. No panic. An instruction. Adrian's jaw tightened, but his hold remained firm. Around them, his men waited for an order. Outside, 40-foot waves struck the armored hull, and every light aboard the yacht had gone black at the same time. Miss Bennett, Adrian said, his voice dangerously quiet. Move away from me. I will, after Lily knows nobody is dragging her anywhere. Claire shifted carefully off his chest and lowered herself to the floor. Her broad body blocked the guards from reaching beneath the bed, but she did not use it as a shield to challenge them. She used it to create space. Lily, I am putting 2 paper boats where you can see them. The blue one means you want us to stay. The white one means you want everyone to leave. Adrian stared at her. You brought paper boats into my room? Your niece brought them. Claire slid both boats across the dark carpet. A small hand appeared from beneath the bed. It hovered, shaking, then pulled the blue boat into the shadows. Claire looked up at Adrian. She chose. Now honor it. No employee spoke to Adrian that way. Men had disappeared for less. But instead of ordering Claire removed, he raised one hand. Every guard stepped back. He lowered himself to the floor beside her, still wearing a black suit worth more than Claire earned in 6 months. What happens now, he asked. Claire noticed the change immediately. He was not asking as a boss. He was asking as Lily's uncle. Now we wait until she is ready. For 11 silent seconds, the most feared man on the eastern seaboard obeyed a nanny he had hired only that morning. Then the emergency lights flickered red. A sharp alarm sounded from the bridge, followed by hurried footsteps in the corridor. Adrian's security chief, Nolan Cole, appeared in the doorway, rain shining on his coat. His eyes moved from Claire on the carpet to the disturbed bed, then to Adrian's hand still resting near her waist. Something calculating passed across his face. We have a problem, Nolan said. The navigation system restarted, but the ship is no longer heading toward Bar Harbor. Adrian rose at once. Who changed the course? Nolan hesitated. Claire heard it before Adrian did. Not fear in Nolan's voice, but preparation. The command came from your private terminal, he said. Every eye turned toward the desk across the cabin. Adrian had not touched that terminal all night. Claire looked beneath the bed as Lily pushed out a 3rd paper boat, this one marked with a single black line. Then the child whispered the first words Claire had heard her speak since boarding. He found us. 36 hours earlier, Claire Bennett had stood beneath the smoke glass awning of a private marina in Portland, Maine, holding a worn leather portfolio against her chest while cold rain darkened the shoulders of her best coat. Beyond the security gate, the night glass waited at the pier like a floating fortress, its black hull reflecting the harbor lights. Claire had accepted the 4-day travel nanny assignment. Because the payment could cover the deposit on the small studio, she planned to open for children who struggled in traditional programs. She needed the money, but she did not need it badly enough to ignore warning signs. Nolan Cole provided the first one. He met her at the gate in a tailored gray coat, glanced at her resume for less than 5 seconds, then examined her full figure with open skepticism. There are 5 decks, he said. Steep stairs, tight passages, emergency drills. This is not a suburban playroom. Claire held his gaze. Then it is fortunate that I worked aboard an educational schooner for 2 summers. Nolan looked surprised, but not impressed. Can you move quickly when necessary? I can move effectively, she replied. Those are not always the same thing. He led her aboard without apologizing. Inside, polished walnut walls, silent guards, and locked steel doors made the yacht feel less like transportation and more like controlled territory. Claire noticed cameras at every intersection, but none inside the child's sitting room. Someone wanted Lily watched without making her feel watched. Adrian Cole was waiting beside a wide window overlooking the rain. He wore a black suit without a tie, and his stillness made every other man in the room seem restless. He did not offer his hand. Claire had already been warned that he never did. My niece has dismissed 6 caregivers in 3 months, he said. She refuses instructions, hides during transitions, and will not tolerate physical contact. Children do not dismiss caregivers, Claire answered. Adults leave when their usual methods stop working. Nolan's mouth tightened. Adrian's expression did not change. You believe you will succeed where trained specialists failed. I believe success is the wrong first goal. Safety comes first. Trust comes after that. Cooperation may come later. Claire opened her portfolio and placed a revised contract on the table. She had added 3 conditions in clear language. No forced physical contact. No sedatives without approval from an independent physician. And the right to stop any procedure she believed was causing Lily unnecessary distress. Nolan gave a short, disbelieving laugh. You are applying for a temporary nanny position, Miss Bennett, not negotiating a treaty. Claire closed the portfolio. Then you should hire someone else. She turned toward the door. The payment mattered. The studio mattered. But Claire had spent too many years watching frightened children get labeled difficult because adults found obedience more convenient than understanding. She would not become another well-dressed stranger paid to make Lily easier to manage. Wait, Adrian said. Claire stopped, but did not turn around immediately. If you violate security instructions, the contract ends, he continued. If security instructions endanger the child, I will violate them, she replied. Silence filled the room. Nolan expected Adrian to dismiss her. Instead, the most feared man in the marina picked up a fountain pen and signed beneath every condition she had written. Then he looked at Claire with the first trace of genuine interest. You begin now, he said. Lily has locked herself on the observation deck, and there is a storm coming. The observation deck door was not locked. A dining chair had been wedged beneath the handle from the inside. Nolan reached for the emergency key, but Claire lifted one hand. Do not open it yet. He gave her the same cold look he had used at the marina. A storm is moving in. We do not have time for games. Neither does Lily. Claire crouched beside the narrow gap beneath the door. Her knees protested against the polished floor, but she settled her weight comfortably and looked through the opening. A pair of small black shoes stood near the far window. Beside them lay several paper boats folded from old ferry maps. Lily, Claire said, keeping her voice low, my name is Claire. I am not coming inside unless you decide I may. No answer came. Rain tapped against the glass overhead. Adrian stood several feet behind Claire, silent and imposing, while 2 guards waited near the stairwell. Claire could feel everyone watching her, expecting a performance. She refused to give them one. She removed a blank sheet from her portfolio and began folding it against the floor. Her first attempt leaned badly to one side. After a minute, a child's voice came through the door. That is wrong. Claire looked at the crooked boat in her palm. I suspected it might be. Silence returned, but it had changed. The corners have to meet, Lily said. Mine never do on the first try. Claire slid the damaged boat beneath the door. You can fix it, or you can let it sink. Small fingers appeared and pulled it inside. Adrian's eyes sharpened. According to the reports Claire had read, Lily had not spoken directly to a new caregiver in nearly 2 months. Claire did not celebrate. Trust could disappear the moment an adult treated it like a victory. A soft scraping sound followed. The chair moved away from the handle, and the door opened 3 inches. Lily Cole stood behind it, pale and serious, wearing a green sweater several sizes too large. She held Claire's repaired boat in one hand. Everyone else stays back, Lily said. Adrian's expression tightened, but he stepped away first. Claire entered alone and sat on the carpet rather than approaching the child. Beyond the windows, the Atlantic looked dark and restless. Lily returned to her place near the glass and began folding another section of the ferry map. Claire watched without questioning her. The boats formed neat rows by color. Blue ink marked some of them. Red circles covered others. One boat had a single black line drawn from bow to stern. "Are they places?" Claire asked. Lily shook her head. "People." The child's fingers stopped for half a second, then continued folding. Claire did not press. Nolan appeared behind the glass door, keys hanging from a metal clip at his belt. As he shifted his weight, the keys struck one another with a bright metallic chime. Lily's shoulders rose instantly. Her breathing shortened. The paper crushed between her hands. Claire moved slowly, placing her own palms flat on the carpet where Lily could see them. "You do not have to look at him," she said. "Look at the boats." Lily reached for the one marked in black and pushed it beneath Claire's hand. Nolan opened the door without waiting for permission. "The captain wants everyone below deck." Lily recoiled. Adrian noticed. Claire saw the question enter. His face, followed immediately by resistance. "She reacted to the storm," he said. "No," Claire replied. "She reacted to the sound of his keys." Nolan's gaze hardened. "You have known her for 12 minutes. That is long enough to notice what everyone else has decided not to see." Adrian looked from Claire to the black-marked boat beneath her hand. Then, instead of ordering Lily downstairs, he turned to Nolan. "Remove the keys." Nolan removed the key ring slowly, his expression controlled enough to pass for obedience. But Claire saw the resentment beneath it. He placed the keys on a side table. Lily's breathing eased, though she kept the black-marked boat pressed beneath her palm. Adrian noticed that too. "We are moving below deck," he said. Claire shook her head. "Not all at once. Too many people, too much noise." Nolan stepped forward. "The captain issued an emergency order." "Then clear the passage first," Claire replied. "Lily can walk with me when she is ready." Adrian looked toward the windows as lightning flashed over the Atlantic. The yacht rose sharply, then settled with a heavy roll. "Do it her way," he ordered. 5 minutes later, the corridor was empty except for Claire, Lily, and Adrian. Claire walked several feet ahead, leaving Lily space to follow. Adrian remained behind them, close enough to protect his niece, but far enough not to crowd her. It was the first time Claire had seen him use restraint instead of authority. They reached the lower deck just as the lights failed. Darkness swallowed the hallway. The engines changed pitch, and somewhere above them, an alarm began to pulse. Lily froze. "Blue light," Claire said calmly. "We find the blue light together." Emergency strips flickered along the floor, but Lily did not move. A metal latch slammed behind them. She covered her ears and ran. Adrian called her name, but Claire was already following. She did not chase at full speed. A frightened child could mistake pursuit for danger. She kept Lily in sight as the girl slipped through the half-open door of Adrian's private cabin. "Nobody follows until I say so," Claire called over her shoulder. Adrian ignored the instruction long enough to enter. Behind her, then stopped when Claire turned and raised one hand. Lily had disappeared beneath the bed. The cabin tilted hard to starboard. Claire caught the edge of a desk, but a second roll pulled her off balance. She stumbled backward and landed across the wide bed, one knee sinking into the mattress. Adrian moved on instinct. His arm closed around her waist before her head could strike the carved frame. Claire felt him go rigid, as if touching her had broken something inside the room more serious than glass. His guards reached the doorway. "Do not pull her out," Claire said before they could move toward Lily. Adrian's grip tightened just enough to keep Claire steady. His face had gone unreadable. "Miss Bennet," he said, "move away from me. I will when the floor stops moving." The yacht rolled again. Claire placed one hand against his chest, not for intimacy, but balance. His heartbeat remained controlled beneath her palm, yet his eyes revealed the cost of that control. "Do not release me until I am standing," she said. For one suspended moment, every man in the doorway waited to see whether Adrian Cole would accept an order from a woman lying across his untouched bed. He did. Claire regained her footing, lowered herself to the carpet, and slid 2 paper boats toward the darkness beneath the bed. "Blue means we stay," she told Lily. "White means everyone leaves." A small hand reached out and chose blue. Adrian dismissed his guards with a gesture, then sat on the floor beside Claire. Before either of them could speak, the emergency lights turned red. Nolan appeared in the doorway and announced that the yacht had changed course through Adrian's private terminal. Beneath the bed, Lily pushed out a third boat marked by one black line. Then she whispered, "He found us." Adrian ordered Nolan to seal the bridge, suspend every navigation officer, and preserve the terminal logs before anyone could erase them. Then he sent the guards away and waited until Lily crawled from beneath the bed on her own. She carried the black-marked boat against her chest and refused to look at Nolan as he left. Claire did not ask what the child meant by "he found us." A frightened child could repeat words long before she understood them, and Claire would not turn Lily's fear into an accusation without evidence. Once the yacht stabilized, Adrian escorted them to a secure family lounge 2 decks below. He remained several feet from Claire, but his attention kept returning to the place where his arm had circled her waist. "You will receive an additional $50,000, he said after Lily fell asleep beneath a wool blanket. "For the danger and for your discretion." Claire looked up from the paper boats arranged beside the couch. "I am not selling my silence. That was not my meaning. It was the meaning of the offer." Adrian's expression cooled. Men twice Claire's size had learned to retreat when he looked at them that way. She stayed seated. "Then tell me what you want," he said. "Control of Lily's care plan for the remainder of this trip. No one enters her room without permission. No sudden transfers. No questioning her about tonight. And Nolan stays away from her until we understand that reaction. You are asking me to surrender authority aboard my own vessel. I am asking you to stop treating authority as proof that you are right." The silence between them tightened, but Claire did not soften the statement. Adrian finally nodded once. "You have 48 hours. By morning, Claire had transformed one corner of the lounge into a map of choices. A blue boat meant Lily wanted company. A white boat meant she wanted quiet. A green boat meant food. A red boat meant something felt unsafe. Claire never demanded explanations. She gave Lily decisions small enough to manage and honored every answer. The change was not miraculous. Lily still flinched at footsteps and refused to enter narrow corridors. But she ate half a bowl of oatmeal, slept for 3 uninterrupted hours, and allowed Adrian to sit nearby while she folded paper. He watched Claire without interfering. Once, when the yacht shifted, his hand moved toward her elbow, then stopped before making contact. Claire noticed. Adrian noticed that she noticed. Neither mentioned it. That restraint unsettled her more than arrogance would have. Later, while checking the schedule for Lily's next transition, Claire found 3 route changes issued through Adrian's private account. The first had been approved while Adrian was sitting on the observation deck. The second had been entered while he was in the cabin holding Claire upright. The third had redirected the yacht 27 miles north, toward a harbor not listed in their emergency plan. Claire carried the tablet to him. "Someone is using your authority to move Lily." Adrian read the entries, and the temperature in the room seemed to drop. "These records remain inside my security division." "Then let me see the access logs." No, his answer came too quickly. Claire set the tablet on the table. "You trusted me with your niece, but not with the information that may keep her safe. This concerns my family." Claire glanced toward Lily, who was folding another boat near the window. "So does she." Adrian's jaw tightened. He had yielded on the floor of his bedroom. He had yielded on Lily's care. But opening his private system meant admitting that the threat might carry his own name. "The answer is no," he repeated. Claire rose. "Then when we reach shore, you will need another nanny." Across the room, Lily's hands stopped moving. Before Adrian could answer, the wall screen illuminated with an incoming call from the Cole Family Council. Nolan appeared beside 3 attorneys and 2 senior relatives, all seated in a private conference room on shore. "We need to discuss what happened in your cabin," Nolan said. Claire felt Lily move closer to the window. Adrian's voice turned cold. "Choose your next words carefully." Nolan ignored the warning. He claimed Claire had entered a restricted room without authorization, disrupted emergency protocol, and placed herself in an inappropriate position on Adrian's bed. Then he suggested that a temporary nanny with financial problems might have reasons for seeking the attention of a wealthy employer. Claire stood still as the accusation settled across the room. She had endured people doubting her stamina, her professionalism, and even her right to occupy space. But this was different. Nolan was trying to turn her competence into manipulation and her body into evidence against her. "That is enough," Adrian said. The force in his voice silenced the screen. "Miss Bennett protected Lily during a security failure. Any insult directed at her is an insult directed at my judgment." Claire looked at him, waiting for the rest. He could expose the false route commands. He could tell the council that someone inside his security division had used his private account. Instead, he said only that the matter would be handled internally. Nolan's expression shifted with quiet satisfaction. Adrian had defended Claire's dignity, but his silence left her standing beneath the suspicion. Internally means secretly, Claire said after the call ended. Adrian turned toward her. It means I will not reveal a weakness before I know who created it. And until then, I become the convenient explanation. I stopped them from attacking you. You stopped the language. You did not stop the lie. Lily was watching now, her fingers tightening around a blue paper boat. Adrian lowered his voice. There are consequences you do not understand. There are consequences you are asking me to carry. Claire removed the temporary access badge from her sweater and placed it on the table. I will stay until we reach shore because Lily should not lose another caregiver in the middle of a crisis. After that, my contract ends. The blue boat slipped from Lily's hand. She gathered every boat from the windowsill and tore them one by one, blue, white, green, and red. Claire moved toward her, but Lily backed away and kept only the black-marked boat pressed against her chest. Adrian watched the child retreat into silence, and something in his expression changed. He had spent years believing that secrecy kept his family safe. Now his secrecy was teaching Lily that every person she trusted would eventually disappear. He crossed to a locked cabinet, entered a code, and removed a secure tablet. Then he placed it in Claire's hands. Full access to the navigation logs, crew rotations, and security permissions, he said. Claire did not take it immediately. Why now? Adrian looked toward Lily. Because I was wrong. The admission cost him more than anger ever had. I protected my authority instead of protecting the people affected by it. I am sorry. Claire accepted the tablet. The access history opened beneath her thumb. One name appeared beside every unauthorized route change. Nolan Cole. But the final entry was different. It was not a navigation command. It was a scheduled custody transfer for Lily, set to activate the moment the yacht reached shore. Claire spread the navigation logs, crew rotations, and access records across the secure tablet, while Adrian stood beside her in rigid silence. The pattern was too precise to be accidental. Every time Lily had suffered a severe panic episode, Nolan had changed a shift, redirected a hallway patrol, or ordered a sudden transfer without warning. Then he had documented the child's distress as proof that Adrian could not provide a stable home. He was creating the behavior he later used against you, Claire said. Adrian's eyes hardened. Why? Claire opened the custody transfer. If Adrian lost guardianship, control of the trust left by Lily's mother would pass to Nolan until Lily turned 18. That trust carried voting rights over 3 private shipping terminals. Nolan did not merely want the child removed. He wanted the authority attached to her name. Across the lounge, Lily sat with the black paper boat in her lap, listening without appearing to listen. Claire lowered her voice. We do not confront him in front of her. We verify everything first. Adrian looked at the evidence, then at his niece. His instinct was to act immediately, but he nodded. What do you need? A copy of the raw access records sent outside this vessel. 2 crew members who do not report to Nolan. And no sudden movement around Lily. Adrian gave the orders exactly as Claire requested. For the first time, he was not merely allowing her to help. He was following her plan. The yacht was less than 12 miles from Bar Harbor when every light went out. The engine slowed. A calm recorded voice announced that an emergency transfer procedure had begun. Red symbols appeared along the floor, directing passengers toward the starboard loading bay. Claire looked at the route and felt her stomach tighten. That is not our evacuation path. Adrian reached for his radio, but it produced only static. At the far end of the corridor, a steel door lowered between them and the bridge. Lily disappeared from the lounge. She took the boat, Claire said. She did not run blindly. During the morning, she had practiced a simple emergency game with Lily using colored paper symbols. Blue meant stay near the windows. Green meant find a crew member. Red meant move toward the nearest emergency beacon. Claire followed a trail of small red boats placed along the baseboards. Adrian stayed behind her, issuing quiet instructions to 2 crew members who had joined them. The deck tilted as the yacht entered rougher water. A storage cabinet opened, sending blankets and sealed containers sliding across the corridor. Claire planted her feet, turned her broad frame sideways, and shielded Lily where the child crouched beside a red emergency lamp. "Look at me," Claire said. "You found the right place. Now take my hand only if you choose." Lily reached for her. Together, they moved toward the auxiliary bridge while Adrian cleared the path ahead. At the loading bay, Nolan was waiting beside a smaller escort vessel with transfer papers already prepared. "The council authorized me to remove Lily for her safety," he said. Adrian stepped between him and the child. His voice was almost quiet. "You manufactured every reason they believed she was unsafe." Nolan's confidence faltered when Claire held up the copied access records. 2 independent crew members had already transmitted them to shore. Adrian seized Nolan's radio and ordered the escort vessel disabled. Nolan was trapped by his own paperwork, his own commands, and the system he believed only he controlled. Rage moved across Adrian's face as he advanced one step. Claire touched his sleeve, then removed her hand immediately. Not in front of Lily. Adrian stopped. The entire bay went silent. Nolan looked past him toward the child clutching Claire's hand. Then he smiled. "Logs prove someone used my access," he said. "They do not prove why. And unless that girl speaks before the council, none of you can prove what I did to her." The family council convened before the night glass reached the harbor. Their faces appeared across the wall screen while Coast Guard lights flashed beyond the windows. Nolan sat under guard at the far end of the loading bay, still wearing the expression of a man who believed silence would save him. One council attorney leaned toward the camera. "We need Lily to confirm what happened." Claire stepped between the child and the screen. "No." The word landed harder than a shout. "Miss Bennett, this concerns legal custody and control of a substantial trust. It concerns a 9-year-old girl who has spent months being frightened, tested, and observed by adults who treated every panic response like evidence." The attorney looked toward Adrian. "Mr. Cole, remove the nanny from the discussion." Adrian remained beside Claire. "She stays." Lily held Claire's hand with one hand and the black paper boat with the other. Her fingers were cold, but her grip was steady. The council pressed harder. They wanted direct questions, a recorded statement, and an immediate identification. Each demand made Lily retreat another inch behind Claire. Nolan watched with quiet satisfaction. He had built his defense around the belief that no one would respect a frightened child's limits. "You already have the access records," Claire said. "You have the route changes, the false emergency orders, the custody transfer, and the testimony of 2 independent crew members. Lily is not the only proof. She is the person you failed to protect. Without her account, motive remains uncertain," another attorney replied. Adrian's expression darkened, but Claire touched his sleeve and felt him stop before anger became action. He looked at her instead. "What does Lily need?" It was the question Claire had been waiting for, not because she held every answer, but because Adrian had finally learned that protection began by asking. Claire knelt so Lily could see her face. "You do not have to speak. You can write something. You can place the boat near the person who made you feel unsafe. Or you can do nothing today." Lily looked toward Nolan. He shifted in his chair, and the small ring of metal keys at his belt struck the frame. Her shoulders tightened. Claire did not rush her. Adrian ordered one of the guards to remove the keys, then stepped back, giving Lily a clear path. The child walked slowly across the bay. Every adult on the screen fell silent. Lily stopped in front of Nolan and placed the black boat at his feet. Nolan forced a smile. "That proves nothing." Lily turned toward the council. Her voice was barely above a whisper, but the microphones carried every word. "He locked the door when my mother was crying." Adrian closed his eyes for one brief second. Claire remained still beside Lily, allowing the child to decide whether she wanted comfort. Lily returned and took her hand again. The statement did not stand alone. It connected the repeated key sounds, the false security orders, the altered routes, and Nolan's attempt to gain control of the trust. The council suspended his authority immediately and ordered an independent investigation into Lily's mother's disappearance. Adrian could have demanded punishment on the spot. Instead, he looked at Lily and chose restraint. "Take him ashore," he said. "Every decision will be documented. No secrets." Nolan was escorted away without spectacle. When the screen returned, the council confirmed that Adrian would remain Lily's guardian under outside review. Then the senior attorney turned toward Claire. "Your position can be made permanent." Claire looked at Adrian. He did not answer for her. "That choice belongs to Miss Bennet," he said. For the first time, his power created space instead of closing it. Claire felt Lily's fingers tighten around hers. Shore lights filled the windows, and the contract in Claire's pocket ended the moment they docked. Claire did not answer the council aboard the yacht. She waited until the night glass reached the dock, until Lily had been examined by an independent physician, and until every member of Nolan's security team had surrendered access to the ship's systems. Only then did she remove her temporary badge and place it in Adrian's hand. "I will not become Lily's permanent nanny," she said. Lily's face fell, but Claire knelt beside her. "I am not disappearing. I am changing the terms," Claire proposed. Becoming Lily's independent care advocate, someone who answered to the child's needs rather than Adrian's household or the Cole family council. She would oversee transitions, choose outside specialists, and stop any decision that ignored Lily's boundaries. Adrian listened without interrupting. Months earlier, he would have rejected any arrangement that limited his control. Now he signed it before the council and required every relative with authority over Lily to do the same. "Her judgment protected my niece when mine did not," he said. "From this day forward, no decision about Lily's care will be made without Claire Bennett's approval." It was not a romantic declaration. It was something Claire valued more: public accountability. The investigation into Nolan continued through the winter. The copied access logs led investigators to archived messages, false custody reports, and payments made to employees who had deliberately frightened Lily before medical evaluations. They also uncovered the truth about Lily's mother. Nolan had threatened her with the loss of her daughter and arranged her disappearance to make Adrian appear incapable of protecting his family. She had escaped under another name and spent years believing contact would place Lily in greater danger. Reunification did not happen in one tearful afternoon. Claire refused to allow that. It began with letters, then supervised calls, then short visits chosen by Lily. Some days she spoke. Some days she folded boats and said nothing. Every choice was honored. Nolan lost his family authority and faced the consequences through the courts, not through Adrian's private revenge. Adrian attended every hearing but never entered Lily's therapy room without permission. That restraint became the clearest proof of his transformation. Claire kept her original goal. She used her savings, the wages she had earned, and a professionally administered grant to open Harbor Room, an art studio for children who communicated differently. When Adrian offered to purchase the building, she refused. He did not argue. Instead, he asked whether the Cole Charitable Foundation could submit a grant through the same independent review process as everyone else. Claire allowed it, and the application was approved without her owing him anything. On opening day, Lily hung dozens of paper boats from the ceiling. Blue boats marked places of trust. Green boats marked new beginnings. There were no black ones. Adrian arrived without guards inside the studio. He watched Claire move among families who did not stare at her body as if it were a limitation. They saw what Lily had seen first: steadiness, warmth, and a woman who never demanded that another person become smaller for her comfort. When the last family left, Adrian found Claire in the reading corner designed like a ship's cabin. He sat beside her, leaving space between them. "I once believed protecting people meant controlling every door," he said. "You taught me that a locked door can become another kind of danger." His hand rested open on the cushion, close to hers, but not touching. "May I?" Claire studied the man who had learned to apologize without buying forgiveness, to wait without issuing commands, and to love his family without taking away their choices. Then she placed her hand in his. The first time he touched her, he had kept her from falling. This time, neither of them needed saving. If you had been Claire, would you have walked away after Adrian failed to defend the whole truth, or stayed only after he surrendered control and earned back your trust? Share your choice and the reason behind it in the comments. Thank you for staying with Claire, Lily, and Adrian through this journey. Subscribe for more stories about women whose dignity, courage, and boundaries change even the most powerful men.